And we're live.
Hooray!
We did it.
Yep.
Yay.
Naturals.
Yeah.
It's like we've done this before.
Almost like last week even. Well, okay, it was a bit different last week, but, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully everyone tuned in to last week's awesome in-person episode, Game of the Year discussion.
What was with this hate you were getting apparently? Like,
I don't know, people don't like my beard.
I don't understand. It's not new.
That's true. I'm on camera every week. Like, I don't know, man. Anyway.
Ridiculous.
Y'all
don't know what you want.
Yeah, maybe the lighting in my basement is better. Maybe on this view it looks more like a shadow or something, so you can't see it as much. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, we don't need to talk about that. We already did talk about that last week.
Yeah.
John's not here. He's at MegFest, right?
Yep, you said it. Yep,
he's at MegFest, having controllers break on him, I guess. I don't know. He was yelling on Twitter or something.
I thought he had like 3 panels or something this weekend. What was that again? I mean, it's at the end of the last thing. I know he has like...
I don't know when his panels are. I know he's doing throwing controllers at some point.
And he's doing like a panel at like 1:30 in the morning, if I remember.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
I really don't know what his schedule is. I'm sure he's going to tweet them out when it gets close to that and stuff like that. But yeah, John's at MegFest. I guess he'll be back next week. I don't know when John's back.
Yeah, probably. I would assume.
Unless he has back-to-back stuff, but I don't know. We'll find out next week if he's here.
Yeah.
How was your holiday?
It was okay. I worked. Like, I didn't really have a holiday, but like that weekend was good after we did our thing. I was sick.
New Year's? Oh.
Yeah, well, I mean, you knew I was sick when we were in person as well.
Right.
And I was getting over it actually when we did the last podcast, and then it came back and I was sick all week, and now I'm getting over it again.
Great. Yeah, I got like the day I got up to Calgary, I got strep throat.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So that whole time I just had a sore throat, which was nice, which is just awesome. But luckily I'm still on a bit of my parents' health insurance. So like free healthcare. Woo.
Yeah, no, totally.
Canada.
How was your trip back though?
It was awful.
That
was
sucks.
the worst. I had 2 stops, so I had to take 3 planes.
Yeah, that's no good.
Yeah,
that's bad.
And every plane was late.
Great.
I didn't miss any of my connecting flights. However, the last plane was 2 hours late. So instead of getting home, instead of like landing around 8 and getting home at 9, I landed around 10 and got home around like 11:30.
Great.
And then, work the next day. So that totally sucked. Did you do anything for New Year's? What was your New Year's Eve festivities?
Oh yeah, what was my New Year's Eve? No, so we got a kitten on Boxing Day, December 26th. So
discount kitten? They were like clearance?
Yeah. No, like a kitten from like the Meow Foundation up here, like an adopted one that somebody didn't want from a foster home.
Okay. Right. I know. Do they actually discount them on Boxing Day?
No.
Okay.
We signed the paperwork and stuff weeks before. The reason why we chose Boxing Day as the pickup date was because we were supposed to be out of town and stuff for Christmas. So
okay.
So anyways, our whole time basically has been like making sure the kitten isn't like doing bad stuff and just kind of chilling at home. So that's kind of what we did. We just chilled out on New Year's Day. So that was cool.
Okay. I went down to Olympic Plaza downtown.
Okay.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling that idea at all.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you go down there for like Canada Day, and it's just like, oh, there's just like a lot of kids and family friendly stuff here. This is not really my scene.
Right.
And then they have a couple bands performing, but they're no one you've ever heard of, obviously.
Like who? Who was there?
One of the bands was like a 4-digit number. That was the name of the band.
Yeah. Oh my god. I know. The funny thing is I know what band you're talking about because I saw them at an Airdrie like part thing in the park like 10 years ago.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
I think their name is like 9112 or something. It's like, yeah, I know which band you're talking about.
And then the other one, it's like a name and the something. But
okay.
I can't remember what it was. But
dope.
We left before they started. I'm assuming they're country because it's Calgary,
right?
And I didn't need any of that. It was real cold that night. There was some shitty fire dancing.
Okay.
And
what about fireworks?
So me and my friend went to a bar.
Yeah.
So we decided to skip the 9 o'clock children's fireworks.
Yeah.
So I didn't see the fireworks.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So I spent the majority of my like late New Year's night in my bed playing Picross 3D 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
cool because that's a video game and that's what we talk about here on the Top Down Perspective.
You're right. You're right. Top Down Perspective is what you're currently listening to, this podcast.
Yeah.
On January 5th for us.
Yep. Soon to be 6th. Yeah, hi.
Soon to be 6th. I got a bit of time, but yeah, you're right. You're right. One thing I do want to talk about briefly that I did in Calgary that was pretty cool. COP, for those who don't know, Canada Olympic Park. It's this big ski hill. I should say small ski hill when you compare it to ski hills.
It's a big ski jump though that they built for the Olympics back in like 84 or 6 or whenever it was for us. I can't even remember.
They have ski jumps, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's for a ski hill that's inside of a city, it's pretty big. I don't really know of any. I don't know of any other ski hills that are in a city. They built a tube park.
Okay.
So like tobogganing, but on inner tubes. And they have one of those like kind of like the moving walkways at an airport, but it goes up the hill and you can just kind of ride that up and then tube down it. And that was a fun time. The people would like spin you, so you'd go down the, I don't know, ramps or whatever,
right.
Spinning or backwards, and you could like link up with people, so you go like 4 people down at once in like a big circle. And the whole time they played country music.
Oh, good. Yeah, okay. I mean, that sounds like Calgary. Just straight
I
up.
just wanted to die.
Yeah.
God, I hate country music so much. Tubing, it was good. We were there for like 2 hours, which I think is an hour too long because the slides, they don't change between each one. They're all just kind of, you go down, there's one bump, and then you're going to stop. And it's a good time, but it just gets repetitive pretty quick. So I could only do that for about an hour before I was getting bored. But they have that, so I can say I did that.
Cool.
That's also my game of the week, tubing.
All right. Well, we're done with the Top Down Perspective. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next year.
Next year.
Yeah.
But speaking of games of the week, what have you been playing this week? Or I guess in the last 2 weeks, because we didn't talk about what we played last week.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you. Besides, like, me just gushing more about Hitman, which I could do if we wanted to, but I'm not, like, too inclined to. I've been playing that in my spare time, and that's been great. The games, like, besides end of the year stuff, it's kind of just been like whatever I can pick at here and there. Yeah. One of the games I wanted to bring up was this game called 99 Vidas. Now, that's 99 VIDAS, not like a PlayStation Vita, but like a life, like Portuguese word for lives or whatever. Okay. The reason I bring this up is because it's based on a podcast that a friend of mine who's originally from Brazil does. That's like super big. Like it's a very popular Brazilian video game podcast. This is like based on their Brazilian podcast or whatever that like some dudes made. And like he's in it.
Okay. It's a game based on a podcast?
It's a game based on a podcast, yeah. Like
this is what I just like assume the angry video game nerd game is.
Sure, it's kind of like that. It's like a fan project, but like this fan is a developer and like likes this podcast and put a bunch of like in jokes and stuff and made the main characters the dudes on the podcast and all that stuff.
Are you familiar with this podcast?
I don't speak Portuguese. Otherwise,
Okay, so you don't.
yes.
So you could just be missing like in joke after in joke.
Oh no, I am missing in joke after in joke. I don't understand any of it, which is super annoying. But this game is super dope. It plays like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game, or River City Ransom. It's a
Oh, you mean the best video game movie game?
the best video game movie game. It plays like a really, really good, just like Streets of Rage type thing. It's a beat 'em up, and I think I would get like way more just personal enjoyment if I understood what the hell like the in jokes are and stuff. But even not so much. It plays very, very well, which was surprising to me because I'm gonna be honest with you. I was afraid this would be one of the things where I would be like, yeah, man, it's good, and just being like, this is garbage, but like I don't want to like sound like that. It's actually legitimately really fun. There's like 11 characters that like 7 characters.
Are there 11 hosts to this podcast?
No, there's 4 hosts. There's like 7 secret characters that you can unlock or whatever. I don't know who they are because I haven't unlocked them.
Jokes, right?
They're probably more in jokes, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Every character has a different like element that they wield. So like my friend, the friend is his name is Izzy Nombre or Nobre. Is it Nombre or Nobre? Is there an M in there? I can't remember. I don't think there is.
Yeah, I'm not the person to ask. So
right. So like his thing is that he like is electrical, or what he uses like electrical power. So one of his like dashing moves.
Oh, he put himself in the game?
No, they put him in the game because he's part of the podcast. Like he's one of the characters.
I didn't know he was a part of the podcast. I thought he listened to the podcast.
No. Yeah, so it's not him that made this game, but it's like his game because he's in it, sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's like electrical based. All his like moves have to do with like electricity or whatever. Another dude is all like fire based. Another guy's all rock based. It's cool.
Is one of the elements heart?
You know, I don't know, because there is like a secret character where it's just like when you look at what his element's supposed to be, it just shows like a bunch of colors. So maybe there might be. I mean, who knows?
How else are you gonna make Captain Planet?
You're right. There's no other way. So this game is super good if you like beat 'em up type games. I highly recommend it just because it's super fun. It has
Where can you find it?
Just on Steam. You can just go to Steam and and type in 99VIDAS, 99 Vidas. If you understand Portuguese,
yeah.
No, it's all in English. The game.
Okay.
Yeah.
But hopefully you listen to this Portuguese podcast. So
this is the thing.
Jokes.
Is that if you speak Portuguese, you should check out their podcast and let me know if it's actually good, because I mean I wouldn't know, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's pretty good. It has online and local co-op, which is great. I think the biggest problem I have with the game, though, is that one of the bosses feels like it was tuned for like you to be playing with 1 or 2 other people. Like he's like just the biggest pain in the ass for single player, because of his whole like gimmick is you have to kind of hit him at a certain time to like make him weak so you can like pound on him. But like he runs around the screen and gets faster and faster as you like do this. So like if you had like 2 or 3 other people with you, you could just have them like all stationed up at a different part on the screen when you're fighting him, and then just like beat the shit out of him that way. But for one person, you're just like running to every station he stops at, and it's super irritating. I don't think it was that fight was balanced right, but otherwise like it's super fun. It does a Scott Pilgrim thing of you buy upgrades and make your character better, and then you can go through it on harder difficulties, easier, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
it's you find like a pizza on the ground and eat it to regain your health.
No, there's apples.
Well, then what kind of beat 'em up is this?
There's apples and chicken.
Okay, that's good. As long as chicken, all right. Check that box.
Yeah, so that's okay.
But like a cooked chicken, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Good.
Yeah. So yeah, I highly recommend it. It's pretty cheap too, and I want to play it. Look, I just want people to buy it so that I have people to play it with. That's all. That's all I'm
Okay.
getting
All
at
right.
here.
So hit you up.
Yeah, hit me up. On the train of just playing a game like here and there, Binding of Isaac, actually a few days ago here, released Afterbirth Plus, the final update to the Binding of Isaac.
Okay.
Which added community mod support, so the community can now like add their own mods into the official game instead
so
of
you mean not the final add-on, the beginning of the add-ons.
the final official like expansion, right. I should actually say is the right word. Adds a whole another floor or chapter, whatever you want to call it. Adds a whole nother boss. Adds a bunch of like smaller bosses, like the mini boss dudes. Bunch of items, all that sort of stuff. That game, on my first run, like I got super overpowered and saw a whole lot of the new content. That last boss is bullshit. That last boss is actually just like, they're gonna nerf it because it's kind of bad design. Like, it's just a bullshit boss. And like, I don't know how
like
to talk
hard? It's like really hard?
But like unfairly hard. Like there's been bosses in that game like the Hush, which is like a bullet hell boss, which is with like a lot of health, which is kind of fine because it's like, well, you just have to be good and like dodge the bullets and attack and all that sort of stuff. That's fine. This boss, without giving too much away, is basically just like fight every boss in the game at the same time, but like with them dialed up like to an insane degree.
To like 11?
Yeah. It's actually bullshit. It's just kind of not fun. That being said, I beat him because I had the most overpowered run I think I've ever had in that game to get to him. But fuck,
okay,
man.
well, this seems like a bit of a non-issue if you beat it.
I guess so, maybe. I guess it's just one of those things that, like, if you stumbled on that without having, like, basically, if you put a list of every good item in that game to make you powerful, I had probably 80% of, like, that whole list in that one run. Okay. And I still almost died. I still almost went from,
well, it seems like it's perfect for you, someone who's played it a ton.
I guess this is something you could say. What I'm saying is that because Isaac is a game that's based on you building a run out of items and then being able to reap the rewards of that, it feels really uncool when you've built an amazing run and you can still almost get the shit kicked out of you. Because Isaac isn't a game about, like, being good at the mechanics. It's about, like, kind of building what items you want to make you overpowered. So if you don't get overpowered, it feels like you don't really have a reward for what you did.
Okay.
I don't know. That's my problem with it. I think it's going to get nerfed, though, because it is legitimately crazy. Like, it is crazy overpowered. But I will say, for the first time seeing it, like, unspoiled and stuff, you should try that. If you play that game, you should jump back in it, try to get, like, an amazing run and get that boss. Because
is this a free update?
Fuck. No. If you have the original Binding of Isaac, it's on sale right now for $6.66. Otherwise, I believe it's going to be $10. So, yeah.
Okay.
Same thing they did with Afterbirth. Otherwise, I don't think Afterbirth Plus is worth buying if you have it on console. If you play Binding of Isaac on console, I don't think it's worth buying because they didn't add a whole lot to this update, like, officially. The big thing for this update is that they added mod support and the community is going to be making crazy stuff for people to play with for, like, years to come now.
And the console version won't have that.
The console version will not have mod support. You don't get the discount if you have the original Binding of Isaac like you do on PC for the console version.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's the console version for that game is like, that's the bad version. If you have a PC that can, like, run it, you should just play it on your PC if you want to play that game, because it kind of sounds, I don't think it's them not caring about console. I think it's them not caring about the hoops you have to jump through to get that type of game on consoles to run, like, the way they want it to. But yeah, that's out. That's a thing, and it's super cool. I like people that like Binding of Isaac. I don't need to tell you. You've already bought it. I'm just saying that if you like that thing, you should probably get, like, a super overpowered run and go see that final boss. And then, like, tweet me on Twitter because I want to know your reaction when you find that thing. The final game, and probably the best one on this list, maybe, is a game I played through today.
Right.
And it's Hidden My Game by Mom 2. The sequel.
Yeah, this was a surprise. Someone just kind of tweeted at us, and I saw it this morning, and that was exciting. I also played through it today. What'd you think?
I felt like they rehashed some old ground that made it too easy. Some of the puzzles were just kind of like, oh, I know this one. It's here, but then like it isn't, and it's just like okay, specifically it's the dude with the cups and the hat. I looked under his hat. One,
like, yeah, you know exactly, like, oh, well, I know it was here last time, and you've added these things, so like it's probably over here.
Yeah, so like you find it right away because you know it's not under the cups. Actually, you know what? I think that one would have been better if it was legitimately just under the cup.
Okay, sure.
But it doesn't have that powerful ending, like at all.
It has an ending.
It has an ending.
It's not as, I don't think it's as, I'm gonna say in general, I don't think it's as good as the first Hidden My Game by Mom.
Mm-hmm.
And the ending in Hidden My Game by Mom 1, I also think is better. Just how weird it is.
Yeah.
Like, because that game gets dark. This one, it's kind of just like, yay!
It kind of sets up for a sequel for itself again. It's
which
weird.
Is fine. Like, I would play more of it.
Sure.
Like, this is just a silly game. I think a lot of the appeal was just how weird Hidden My Game by Mom was, and because this is just that again. Like, it's not different in any way. It's just more levels.
There's some good gags for sure.
Right. I think both games, to whoever's playing it, it'll make you laugh. There'll be something in there that you'll laugh at.
Give me one of your favorites that was like new, that you were just like,
that okay,
that's pretty good. Because I have one.
Okay, you go ahead while I'm thinking. But try not to spoil though. You know what I mean?
One of my favorites were a bunch of dudes looking at their cell phones trying to find where to go.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah,
I remember that one. Yeah,
I thought that was clever. That was good.
I know. There's definitely some.
What about the monkey? The monkey's good.
The monkey was pretty good, swinging in. Yeah, I liked that one.
That one's really good.
Oh, I know there was definitely one I was laughing at, but I just cannot remember what it was. I think I may have already taken it off my phone, unfortunately. Crap.
Yeah.
Man, what were some of them that I really liked?
I'm trying to think of some new ones.
The rock climbing one's pretty good if you don't grab the cushion.
Oh, I didn't see it without grabbing the cushion. Oh, yeah. Man.
Well, I mean, it's a fail state, so I'll just kind of say it to you. You just fall and just like get hurt and you lose. So that was pretty funny. Was all of your ads the same?
No, there was like 3 that it alternated.
Every single ad I got was for that Arnold Schwarzenegger War mobile game.
I got that one about 3 times. Yeah.
And that one requires you to look at that ad for like 5 seconds before the X comes up. I got that one every single time.
That's really bad. Holy shit, that's bad.
That was super annoying.
Yeah.
I think I just kind of like anyone that involves the grandpa.
Yeah, the grandpa's real good. Because
not only is like the ways you have to interact with him, like is funny, but also he's always the character that wears the hockey mask, which I always just find super funny. Like, that's a great gag right there.
I really like mom fishing for you with your console. You have to do the thing.
Yeah.
It's just really funny when she catches you because she like pulls you in. It's so dumb. What a dumb game.
I liked it was near the end. It's like your sister or something with the camera. That was kind of just a weird one.
Yeah. Yeah, that one is weird for sure. I really like the monkey one because if you go too long and you look over to see if the monkey's there, it's just mom watching.
Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of.
It's really good.
But yeah, I wish I remembered them better.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that game's fine. It's free again, so definitely look it up. There's at one point something pops up where he's like, "Hey, follow me on Twitter," and I was like, "I would love to," but it's all Japanese, so it's like, oh, I don't want to have to like translate this every single time.
And then you're
So that's
still not understanding what he meant to say. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Hidden My Game by Mom 2. I still think the first one is better, but that's just me.
It totally is, yeah. It doesn't have that surprise factor anymore.
Yeah. The first game was like, what? But
Yeah.
I can say this is my Hidden My Game by Mom 2 is so far my favorite game of 2017.
Okay. I'm trying to think of any other games in 2017, but sure.
That's me. Like nothing's really come out, so that's an easy number one. So
sure. Okay.
Okay, well, other games I played because you're done, right?
Yeah, we're done.
Over the break, I've been playing that Ratchet and Clank reboot.
Okay, cool.
And it's just fun. It's just like it's easy. The jokes are like, I mean, they're pretty silly. Like this is definitely like a very kid-friendly game, but it's just kind of like light and airy, and it's just fun. Like no stress. I'm never really like stuck anywhere. It's kind of hand-holdy, so it's like a comfort food game. I can just kind of turn my brain off and just run around and shoot people with the pixelator, so everything turns into an 8-bit enemy, which is cool.
That's supposed to be the game that like proves that 4K is like viable.
I hear it's really good on the Pro. I don't have a Pro. So
sorry, that's what I meant. The Pro. Yeah.
Yeah. I also like that one weapon where it makes everyone dance, and I think it's awesome that they made some animation for every single enemy, including bosses, dance when you shoot that at them.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, like even enemies you don't think would dance, like giant brains squids, will start dancing if you shoot that thing near them. So that's fun. So yeah, that's just a good game. Looks great. It's just enjoyable.
Cool.
And then I've been playing like a lot of Mini Metro on my phone.
Okay. I've heard other people talk about this game in the last month, particularly some dude on Idle Thumbs. So like,
yeah, Idle Thumbs. They were playing it for sure.
So
this game has been on Steam for a while. Came out on iOS, I want to say like 2 or 3 months ago, and then I picked it up sometime last month because it was on sale for $1. Usually it's $5. Mini Metro is so good.
The art makes this good because every time I've seen like a screenshot of it, I'm like, oh, this doesn't look like a game, and like ignored it.
It's definitely hard to get into because they don't really explain anything to you, but the rules are pretty simple. It looks like modern day transit maps.
It does. Yeah.
So if you're in like New York or London or something, San Francisco has it too. It's very high contrast, bright colors connecting the stations that you represent the lines. And so what you're basically given is you're given like a white map that might have like some blue streaks going through it that represent water. And there'll be like a circle, a triangle, and a square. And then what you have to do is you have to connect the triangle you have to connect them together. Okay. And then trains will start going back and forth between them. And then little small shapes will appear beside the stations. So like by the square, it'll be like a small circle. And that means there's a circle passenger that wants to get to circle. So as long as you've connected circle and square in some way, a train will pick that person up, go over there and drop them off.
Oh shit, this is a management game.
It's a management game.
I thought it was a shitty puzzle game.
Well, it's kind of a puzzle because there's definitely elements of like it's kind of a puzzle game in terms of management games are puzzle games. You have to just say like, well, I need my lines to connect in this direction.
No, I thought it was literally like connect the lines, like thing.
Like connect the dots.
This makes way more sense why people are talking about it. Okay.
No, yeah, I definitely recommend checking it out. You specifically, like I somehow have it on Steam. It might be my game or not.
Oh, okay.
But I'm sure if I don't have it, like I'm pretty sure I have it on Steam.
You do have it on Steam. Yeah.
Okay. You should try it on Steam at first. See what it's like. It's real great on the phone. And it's just so smartly designed, like being able to like pull tracks to connect new stations. And after you have lasted long enough, it'll give you more lines you can create. And when I say lines, I mean like brand new tracks. Every few minutes, it gives you more trains to add because eventually stations will start getting so many passengers. You need to be funneling them faster because the way you lose is you have a station that's full for too long. So you want to add more trains to one line. You want to add more cars to each train so they can carry more. You can upgrade stations so that they can hold more passengers. They'll also do specific stuff depending on which city you're playing in. So I was playing Osaka earlier.
Okay.
And Osaka's real hard because it's right on the waterfront. So anytime you want to cross the water, you need to have a tunnel like add-on, and you get rewarded tunnels as well. But there's just so many of them you need, so it was difficult. But the bonus for playing in Osaka is they have bullet trains which go really fast on like one track. So if you have one that's like real far out there and you're connecting it and you hate how long it takes that train to go there, you can put a bullet train there instead.
This sounds really good.
It is really good, and like I said, the art style it's so nice, and it's just like I'm like addicted to it right now. Like
I'm pretty annoyed I didn't pick this up when it was cheap.
There's daily challenges, which are fun to do. It has like endless modes as well. It has a hardcore mode where you can't change your track once you put it down, which would be insane, but also realistic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A little bit more realistic, because right now, yeah, you can just like you can even pause. This part I kind of don't like, but it's really helpful. You can pause the game and completely redraw your whole map, which just seems like cheating.
It does. I agree with you.
But there's so many times where I'm like, this is not efficient. I need to start doubling up and stuff. And honestly, it's one of those games where each time I play it, I'm learning like new techniques. It's like, oh wait, I should have 2 tracks going along these 2 instead of just having every station being hit by 1. So I'm like getting exponentially better each time I play it, which is really cool. So I'm playing it on iOS. It's $5. Like I said, it went on sale for $1 last month. So if you want to wait for the next sale, it'll probably drop to about $1 again. But it's on Steam. I don't know what the price on Steam is right now, but definitely check it out. I highly recommend Mini Metro. It's super cool if you like puzzle games, if you like management games.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard other people talk about this game and just kind of zoned out, because every time I've just like seen pictures of it, I'm just like, oh, okay, it's just some shitty like puzzle game that looks nice or clean or whatever. But like knowing what it is now, this actually sounds amazing.
Yeah, and like I said, give it 2 good tries, because like I said, the first one can be difficult because they don't really explain much. It's kind of just you have to play with it and see what's happening, and you'll kind of figure it out. Mm-hmm. Then play it again once you've like learned the rules, and it's like a completely different game, and you'll probably be, at least for me, I was just hooked after that second game. So
cool.
All right, let's go into the news. Some small stuff here.
Yeah.
Just a small little Frog Factions 2 is out.
Yeah.
Yep, we talked about this briefly on Game of the Year. Glitterman Grove is the game. I know there's guides online. Glittermitten, sorry.
Yep.
Glittermitten Grove. I know there's guides online to find Frog Fractions within it. 1, I don't remember how to do it. 2, I don't want to say it in case you're wanting to stumble on it yourself.
Sure.
But if you want to look up those guides, you can definitely do that. I want to play that at some point. I just haven't had time to sit down with my computer since getting home. Have you played it at all, Paul?
Don't give a fuck.
All right, so don't expect Paul to talk about that. John played it.
Since John has it, like I'll play it for free. I'm not paying $20 for that shit. You'd be fucking crazy to expect that from me. So.
Okay, why do you hate Frog Fractions so much?
Because a nice free thing that lasted like 2 to 3 hours before in a browser was dope. An 8-hour expedition that's $20 is not what I want from Frog Fractions, because I got tired of the browser game even after the like 2 hours I was done with the joke.
Okay. All right. Okay. I hear this one goes in some pretty weird directions, so I'm curious.
Sure.
To be fair, I'm also going to be playing John's copy. So.
This is the thing, right? Is that for free? I'll probably look at it at some point, but like $20, man. I don't know. That's not for me.
Mass Effect Andromeda got a confirmed release date for March 21st. I'm excited. Looking forward to that. Dope. The GDC Awards, the nominees are out. Let's take a look at this.
Oh, they're okay. Sorry, I didn't realize these were only nominees.
Only the nominees are out so far. Let's see when. I don't know when the actual awards are.
Are we wanting to do predictions? That's kind of like a all 3 of us thing, I guess. Well,
I mean, like John's not here, but
I mean, we could. Basically, what I'm asking is, should I open Notepad?
Sure, why not? You and me, let's do some predictions.
Okay, cool. Notepad is okay.
So here's best audio.
Yeah.
Your choices are Battlefield 1,
Yep.
Thumper, Doom, Inside, and Overwatch.
Oh, okay. It depends what they do for audio. I'm gonna say Battlefield 1.
I want to give it to Doom.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. But you're right.
I know.
Yeah, I bet it's Battlefield 1, but I just want to give it to Doom.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, best debut. Heart Machine. Oh, sorry, they're doing the company then the game.
Yeah.
So Hyper Life Drifter, Firewatch, Stardew Valley, Thumper, and Oxenfree.
Stardew.
I think it's Stardew as well.
It's easily gonna win.
Or I could see Firewatch actually taking it, but I think Stardew is going to take it.
Yep.
Best design. Overwatch, Dishonored 2, The Witness, Inside, and Doom.
This is
It's a hard one.
This is a bad title for, like, I don't know what they're looking for when they say best design. Because Doom is the perfect Doom game, but Overwatch is like a great class-based shooter. I don't know.
I was kind of looking at it more like aesthetics.
Okay.
But I guess like who knows really.
In that case,
like,
I'm gonna say
they have honorable
Overwatch.
mentions for each one of these, and Hitman's on that, and that's not like nothing. At least from what I've seen, nothing really strikes me about the Hitman game.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna give it to The Witness.
I mean,
That's my guess.
okay. This is the thing, is that you're
I could see
probably
Inside
right.
taking that too. I could see Inside taking that.
You know what? I'm gonna say Doom. Fuck it.
Okay. All right. Best mobile/handheld game: Super Mario Run, Clash Royale, Pokemon Go, Reigns. Shout out to Reigns.
Shout out to
And
Reigns.
Pokemon Sun Moon. The actual only handheld game on this.
Well, yeah, you're right. It is.
I mean, Pokemon Go is probably going to take it.
Pokemon Go is probably going to take it, but I'm going to say Reigns because fuck the police.
I'm going to guess Pokemon Go.
Okay.
I'm so glad Reigns got like selected. That's crazy.
Reigns is real good.
Yeah, it's great.
Some might say it's
one
like
of the 10 best games of last year.
yeah. Some might say that.
Innovation Award: The Witness, Inside, No Man's Sky, Firewatch, Pokemon Go.
See, okay, this is what's weird, right? Is that when you say the Innovation Award, sure, like I can see all these. The honorable mentions has like Super Hot, Thumper, Quadrilateral Cowboy, like the honorable mentions I think are better.
I think the only one in honorable mention. Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you're saying they aren't.
I thought,
they didn't.
like for innovation, I thought Super Hot was better than any of these up here. Besides maybe Pokemon Go. Well, no, Pokemon Go's a ripoff of the other thing they did.
I guess kind of.
It's weird.
I don't know. Thumper's kind of its own thing too. I don't really understand Last Guardian being in there. It's not
me
like
neither.
that crazy.
Right.
But anyway, what's your what do you think?
Oh, innovation. Oh my god. Like Firewatch, I'm not going to say is innovative, really. It just does
I don't think
thing
I think
well.
No Man's Sky fell short for sure.
The Witness.
I want to give it to Inside in that one.
Okay.
Best narrative: The Last Guardian, Oxenfree, Uncharted 4, Inside, and Firewatch.
This is a problem for me because I've only played 3 of these. Like, there's 2 of these I haven't played at all.
That's fine. I feel like in a lot of these cases, we're probably only going to have played like 3 of these.
Best narrative, I'm going to say Uncharted because that's the only thing I think that series does amazingly over any other game.
I'll give it to Uncharted 4. I could see Uncharted 4 taking that one.
Cool.
Best technology: Battlefield 1, No Man's Sky, Overwatch, Doom, Uncharted 4.
Best technology. Oh,
I could see Battlefield 1 taking that, but I didn't play it, so I'm going to say Uncharted 4.
You're going to say Uncharted? Okay. I mean, I played Battlefield 1. I get... The thing is, I wasn't super enthralled with Battlefield 1. It was another Battlefield game to me. That's why I don't understand it.
People be like, this game, like, that mud looks amazing.
It does look... It looks amazing and it sounds amazing, but, like, best technology... Well, that's technology, though. Okay. I mean, you're right. When you put it that way, it's probably Battlefield 1. Because it does look amazing.
Best visual art. Firewatch, Last Guardian, Overwatch, Uncharted 4, and Inside. I want to give it to Firewatch. Like, I haven't been able to give anything to Firewatch yet, and that game looks so nice.
I mean, I think it looks better than any of these other ones. Like, I like that style more. So
give it to Firewatch.
I'm with you.
Best VR AR game or / AR game. Res Infinite, Super Hot VR, Job Simulator, Pokemon Go, and Fantastic Contraption. So, like, the only reason they put AR in this is because Pokemon Go, I guess.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And that part kind of sucks. Well, I guess the whole thing is an AR game. It's not just the AR camera, so I guess never mind. See, I haven't played like any of these really. I mean,
definitely not in Res. VR. Right? Yeah. I get
you. I played Res and I played Super Hot.
I hear people talk like about Job Simulator like it is the proof of concept that VR can be fun. So I'm gonna say
I've heard that. I mean, I've also heard that Res Infinite and Super Hot VR are like the best you can get.
Sure, but they're VR versions of another game.
I'm gonna guess that Res takes it.
Okay.
And last one, Game of the Year: Uncharted 4, Overwatch, Inside, Dishonored 2, and Firewatch. I bet Overwatch takes it.
Oh wait, this is GDC. You know what? I should have thought about that while choosing some of these, because they have a different way of looking at games. Okay. Because I'm pretty sure Inside would have won a few more for me. Game of the Year. I think their Game of the Year is probably like I'm gonna say Overwatch because I kind of want it to be.
I feel like Overwatch wins a lot of Game of the Year awards.
See, the problem I have is that I feel like they're gonna say Inside, and I just don't think that's right. I don't think Inside is a better game than Overwatch, but I'm also not GDC, so.
All right, moving on. Here's a reminder that the Nintendo Switch presentation is on the 12th at 8 p.m. Pacific time. So get excited for that.
A week from now.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
So like, oh, great, as we're doing this podcast. Cool.
At 8 p.m.
That's literally when we start.
We should push it to Friday, maybe.
Maybe,
because so just knowing the people that listen to TDP, like, they're Nintendo people, so.
Yep. Anyway. Okay, we got the Steam Award winners. So we did predictions for this. Do you have them up? Because I don't know where they are.
I do have the predictions up.
Okay, great.
You'll have to tell me the winner, though, because I can't have both of them up at the same time.
Okay, well, how about this? Why don't you read us what we nominated, and I'll tell you what the winner was.
Okay. So, the Villain Most in Need of a Hug Award. The options were Borderlands 2, Dead by Daylight, Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4, and Portal 2. John and I both agreed that Dead by Daylight was funny for that category, so we chose that. But Sean, you chose Portal 2.
The winner was Portal 2.
I figured it would be Portal 2. I just like the idea that Villain in Most Need of a Hug is actually another player in Dead by Daylight. Okay. I thought this game was cool before it won an award. Was your options were Euro Truck Simulator 2, Paladins, Starbound, Stardew Valley, and Unturned. John chose Euro Truck Simulator 2, while Sean, you and I both agreed Stardew Valley.
Euro Truck Simulator 2.
Fuck, John. He knew. He got that shit. All right. The Test of Time Award. The options were Age of Empires 2 HD Edition, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, Sid Meier's Civilization 5, Team Fortress 2, and Terraria. This is where we all split. Sean, you said Skyrim, John said Team Fortress 2, and I said Terraria.
Skyrim.
I mean, it's a pretty safe bet, I guess, looking back on it now, but that's fine. The Just 5 More Minutes Award. I think we got this wrong, but that's fine. Options were Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Rocket League, Sid Meier's Civilization 6, Fallout 4, and Terraria. We all said Rocket League.
Counter-Strike Global Offense.
Yeah, I forgot this was the Steam Awards when we were doing it, and it's like, well, people that use Steam play Counter-Strike a lot. The Whoa Dude Award, BioShock Infinite, Doom, GTA 5, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, and The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Where
I don't even remember what this category is. Is it just like set pieces or something?
I think so. It was like games that like blew our mind or something.
Okay. All right.
John said Grand Theft Auto 5, and you and I said The Witcher 3.
Grand Theft Auto 5. Man, John just knows it.
John just knows it. To be fair, I was actually just choosing things I think should win, which is like not the way you should probably do this. The Game Within a Game Award. I really like that title. Gary's Mod, Grand Theft Auto 5, The Stanley Parable, Tabletop Sim, and The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt were the options. John and I both said Gary's Mod. You said The Stanley Parable, Sean.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Okay. That doesn't make sense to me at all.
I guess you can make your own games in it, kind of like, you know, build your own fun. I don't know.
The I'm Not Crying, There's Just Something in My Eye Award. Life is Strange, To the Moon, This War of Mine, Undertale, and The Walking Dead were the options. We all three said Undertale.
The Walking Dead.
Yo, fuck The Walking Dead, though. Like, free.
I like that first season. I mean,
the first season was okay.
Shout out to the Moon.
That's the thing, right? Is that, like, any of the other four I would have been happier with winning, but whatever, it's fine. The Best Use of a Farm Animal Award. Ark Survival Evolved, Blood and Bacon, Farming Simulator 17, Goat Simulator, and Stardew Valley were the choices. John and I said Stardew Valley. Sean, you said Goat Simulator. Goat
Simulator.
Oh, you got that shit. All right.
Yep.
All right.
Have you gotten any of them?
I mean, I'm marking off the ones. I can go back when we're done and like, okay, I'll give us a score.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. The Boom Boom Award. Broforce, Doom, Just Cause 3, Keep Talking, Nobody Explodes, and Kerbal Space Program were the options. John chose Broforce. You and I chose Doom.
Doom.
Oh, shit. Yeah, Doom's so good. The Love/Hate Relationship Award. Dark Souls 3, Darkest Dungeon, Dota 2, Geometry Dash. I don't even know what that is. And Super Meat Boy were the options. We all chose Dark Souls 3.
Dark Souls 3. Of
course.
That seems like the easiest one.
That's the answer. Yeah. The Sit Back and Relax Award, where the options were Abzu, City Skylines, Euro Truck Simulator 2, Mini Metro, and Viridi. Yeah. And Sean, you chose Abzu, I chose City Skylines, and John chose Euro Truck Simulator.
Euro Truck Simulator 2.
I mean, that's a pretty good call on his part for sure. And the final one was the Better with Friends Award. Don't Starve Together, Gang Beasts, Golf with Your Friends, Left 4 Dead 2, and Magicka were the options. John chose Left 4 Dead 2, I chose Golf with Your Friends, you chose Gang Beasts.
Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah. That's actually the wrong answer, though. The people that use Steam are actually retarded. The right, like, my answer isn't right either. Yours is. Gang Beasts is actually not a game without friends.
Gang Beasts is just awesome.
It's not a game without friends, though.
It is. Keep in mind, this is Steam Awards. Like, we should have guessed.
People that use Steam are, like, actually retarded. Okay. Okay. So, Sean, you got 1 and 2. Sorry, I'm looking for 3, 4, 5. You got 5 points.
All right, 5 points. I think John won.
John got... You know what? I'll do mine because it's easier. Just straight up.
I think you got 1 or 2.
Paul, you got 2 points. Yeah.
All right.
I did it, you guys. And John got 1, 2. It's actually not as big as you'd think. 3.
Oh, what? Really? Okay.
4, 5.
Oh, so we tied. All right. Fist fight. See who the winner is.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool.
There you go.
That was fun. Last bit of news: Nintendo has opened up pre-registration or whatever for Android Super Mario Run.
Yeah, so what this is I did it. You click on their link, and it says, do you want to pre-register? I clicked yes, and it says, great, we'll give you a push notification when it's available. So I basically just signed up for, like, their list.
Right. If that's anything like how it happened on iOS, because we had that notify feature, it'll give you an email at 5 o'clock in the evening the day it comes out, when the game goes live at 10 in the morning.
Great. Yep.
So that'll be real helpful.
I mean, I check Twitter every day, so I'll know way before that thing tells me.
Yep. So hopefully it's good on your phone. I really like that game.
I mean, it should be, because my phone is like a newer phone, so I hope.
All right, that's it for news. Let's go through all of these questions.
Yeah, questions that you can send in at topdownperspective@gmail.com, TDP Podcast on Twitter, facebook.com/topdownperspective. John's P.O. Box is a way you can go, and somebody did, which was amazing. Yo, if you haven't listened to the Game of the Year episode, you should do that. It's pretty good.
Definitely do that. Yep. Bob wrote in and said, Tom Clancy died in October 2013, and The Division released 3 years later with his name. While I love Clancy as an author, I've never really known what he does in these games. I always assumed it was just him saying yay or nay to concepts and mechanics, but I digress. Anyway, my question is, how many more games, if any, do you think will carry his name? Discounting, of course, new entries in established franchises like the Rainbow Six series. From my understanding, he has no part of the games. Ubisoft owns his name for video games.
Right. I mean, his part is that he has a big enough name that people will buy things with his name on it and know what they're getting.
Just like how Madden's not a part of Madden.
Exactly. It's the exact same thing, actually. It's just like a branding.
Yeah. I'm sure there's parts of that contract where it's like, no, you can't put out like a Nazi rapist game with my name on it. That's not okay. But like as long as it's not being abused. Yeah, exactly. So for what I understand, it's completely disattached to that guy.
Yeah.
Do you think there's going to be more Tom Clancy games? I actually
absolutely
completely forgot it was Tom Clancy The Division.
Yeah. I absolutely.
So less and less is my opinion. I don't know. I don't know how popular those books are.
I mean, it's going to be less because there was a while there where, like, that fucking Hawks came out, and there's, like, so much shit that came out with his name on it for a while. I think Rainbow Six will continue. I hope that they release, like, an actual Rainbow Six game with, like, a campaign and stuff that you can do co-op and not just, like...
I could see them doing Siege 2.
I could see them doing Siege 2 as well. Right now, Siege is doing well enough for them, though, as like a platform for them to sell DLC and operators and stuff like that. Okay. And they're starting season 2 for that this year. So they won't be doing that for at least a year or two, I would assume. Okay. Like an actual Rainbow Six game, though, I could see them doing for sure. Not just like a multiplayer thing. I think that's probably it.
What was the Vegas game? Was that Rainbow Six as well?
Yeah, that was Rainbow Six. Okay. I could see them doing like a Vegas 3 or 4. I don't remember what they're at there. Ghost Recon Wildlands is coming out, and that looks kind of dope.
Okay.
Mexican cartels.
That looks weird. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Clancy stuff will come out for sure.
Also, have any of you read any of the Tom Clancy novels? If not, I strongly recommend them. No.
I started one, and I was a little bit bored about it. Like, I kind of don't care about military stuff. So
yeah, I don't. What kind of novels do you guys enjoy? This can include audiobooks.
I like nonfiction, like biographies and stuff like that.
I like some of those. I like fiction too. Sci-fi.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't read a ton. I read some comedy stuff as well, which is, I guess, some of the ones is more like comedic biographies. But
sure.
I guess
Mass
most
Effect
of my
books.
like fiction. Yeah, like I said, most of my fiction has been sci-fi stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you for sure. Okay. Charles wrote in and said, how did you first decide to do this podcast? Sean, why don't you go ahead and answer that?
Yeah. I I started listening to podcasts in school, and it was like, I want to do that because I was already like making message boards, and I just loved talking about games. I wanted to do a podcast, and it kind of lined up nicely with some Comtech classes I was taking, so I could do it as part of the class. I was talking to John about it at work, and he was like, "Oh, I'll join you about it too." And Nathan got involved, and yeah.
Yep. The survey covers your most disappointing of the year, but what's your most disappointing game of all time? I feel like this gets asked every now and then, and we skip past it a lot.
Do you have anything off the top of your head?
No. Like, most disappointing game of all time. That's a big title.
Yeah, I'd have to think more on it, but I'm just trying to think if does anything stand out where I was like, this, I was waiting for so long, and this kind of, I don't know, No Man's Sky is a big disappointment.
No Man's Sky is a big disappointment. Like, in what it should have been, in my opinion, because I love Mega Man so much, I thought Mighty Number 9 was a pretty big disappointment in that regard.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah.
Bake Slur says, so recently for Christmas, I got myself a few first-person shooter games for my PS3, not PS4 because I am a broke college student. The thing is, though, that the only first-person games I have played in my life were the 2 Portal games and Doom 2. What a weird selection. And for all those games, the last time I played them was over 4 years ago. Okay. I played the Portal series on my PC before everything on it had to be updated, and then it eventually ran like crap. But when I did play the Portal games on the PC, I really liked the keyboard and mouse controls. However, the one time I used an actual controller to play a first person, it was Doom 2, and I could not get used to the joystick controls for the life of me. So as a person who is still a beginner to first-person shooting games, as dumb as that is for me to say in this day and age of gaming, are there any games with a first-person perspective that can help me get used to first-person controls on a controller instead of a mouse and keyboard?
Halo.
That's a pretty easy, pretty entry-level shooter. Overwatch, also pretty entry-level shooter.
The thing is that all modern-day shooters kind of took from, like, Halo and Call of Duty. So, like, they're all good now. I'm
thinking, though, I think we have to go outside first, like a shooter game. Because it's going to be, like, high stress. Like, Overwatch is probably not ideal because you're actually getting, you're competing.
Sure.
So I'm thinking, like, The Witness is a first-person puzzle game. It does not go fast. It can't go fast. Everyone Goes to the Rapture. My biggest complaint is it goes too slow. So maybe just like some like first person narrative, like the Gone Home, Firewatch.
Wayward saying BioShock. BioShock is a good thing. It is a good choice. Someone says Antechamber. Yeah, that's a good puzzle game. I think go for like some first person puzzle games first, just to get used to moving around in that kind of environment, not while stuff is like chasing you and shooting at you and stuff. Also, and then work up to one. Don't worry about first-person platforming. It's always shitty in games when they make you do that, so, like, you're not alone.
Yep. But then Mirror's Edge comes out, and you're like, man, this feels great. I love it.
I don't like Mirror's Edge, so I don't agree, but that's fine. I mean, you could play Mirror's Edge if you want to try something that's completely different in first-person as well. Oh, this is a weird thing to say. No Man's Sky, for how much shit it gets, that is a game that is first person that you just can do whatever in.
Yeah, just walk around. It's just an exploration game. Yep. I think that's the way to do it, is either like a narrative focused or like an exploration thing that you can just kind of exist in there, and then work your way to shooters. And we mentioned some really entry level shooters to jump in with. Also, what is the weirdest time you have ever had getting used to something completely new to you guys in the world of gaming that you thought you would easily get used to? That is the worst sentence. Okay.
I understand it, though.
Yeah, I can understand it, yeah. Something you thought would be easy to get used to in games.
That it wasn't. Yeah. What's the weirdest
DJ time? Hero, that was a really weird controller. That definitely took some getting used to, for sure.
Yo, even just Guitar Hero. I had the, like, first Guitar Hero before that became huge. And, like, that was weird. That was a weird thing to get used to.
Okay.
But then, like, you just don't think about it after that anymore. If people should play Vib Ribbon on the PlayStation, on PSN or PlayStation 1, if you have like an old copy of it laying around, because that game is fucked for a rhythm game.
Sure.
Parappa the Rapper is like a rhythm game that was super early on, and replaying it over and over, I can see why people have problems playing that game, because it controls like shit. I'm just kind of used to how shitty it controls.
Okay, well, there's some.
Yeah. All right. Matthew writes in with some numbers for us, the MPD numbers. This would be for December, I'm guessing. I don't know when this email came in, though. Maybe November, actually. Probably November. We didn't take any questions last week.
Yeah, I'll double check.
Okay. Either way, these are the numbers for no December.
These are the November and NPD numbers.
Okay.
I'm just noticing he actually puts it as the subject of the email. So
great. All right. So that's not his failing for not knowing that. It's mine for not pulling it. Okay. PS4, 1.1 million. Xbox One, 1 million. 3DS, roughly 555,000. NES Mini, 196,000, which is bullshit because only 3 of those were ever made and sold. And PSVR, 70,000 for consoles.
That's a lot less than I expected. I thought the VR would be flying off shelves.
The PSVR is expensive, though. Like, I would have bought one if it wasn't.
It is, but it's
like
the cheapest headset.
I know, but not a lot of people have the other headsets either. Only the, like, enthusiasts do.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, if anyone's going to jump in, that's the one. Like, that's the one I'd be using.
I mean, you're totally right. It's still really expensive, though. Yeah, I mean, that just proves that, like, this is the reason why companies want to sell in November and December and release shit in there, because those are big numbers for a month. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, more than 3.2 million. Pokemon, oh yeah, I guess Sun and Moon, roughly 3.2 million combined, no digital. Okay, I guess a lot of people probably bought that digitally, I would assume.
I bought it digital.
Right. I bet a lot of people did. Battlefield 1, 2.2 million. Dishonored 2, 276,000. There you go. That's all he has for the numbers this week.
Eduardo writes, what's your favorite fight scene from a video game? Not a boss fight, a fight from a cutscene. My favorite is probably Zanza versus Mayneth from Xenoblade Chronicles.
Fight scene. Okay, so not a boss fight, a fight from a cutscene.
I can't really think of memorable fights that weren't a boss fight.
Yeah, because you kind of don't care if you're not involved. Like, that's what I feel.
Yeah, and all the ones I was thinking of, like I took part of it. The one that jumped to my head is Metal Gear Solid 4.
Okay.
I forget exactly. I believe you're fighting as Raiden. No, you're fighting as Snake, but Raiden's also there fighting someone else, and the screen is split screen, so you're seeing, which I guess is kind of a cutscene, because Raiden's a cutscene while you're playing the other half of the screen.
I mean, I'll count that for sure.
I mean, that is a memorable boss fight. That is a weird boss fight.
It's a fucking great fight for sure.
On the same train, Metal Gear Rising, the octopus lady, this one you totally take part in the whole time, but it's just like J-pop anime theme playing in the background while you're like fighting with this giant full moon behind you, and it's just crazy over the top dramatic, and that was cool.
Bayonetta does that shit well too.
Oh yeah, just anything from Bayonetta.
Yeah. So a fight from a cutscene. I'm sure there's one that like is so obvious that I can't think of right now.
I know what you're thinking of, the one that's super obvious.
Yeah.
The entire game, Azura's Wrath.
You know what? I'll count that. That's totally
that's a cutscene. That game's a cutscene.
It's totally fine.
To be fair, though, they're all boss fights.
Right.
But that's, yeah. I mean, how did that not answer that one first? That game's amazing.
Yeah. That's actually a hard question. Kudos. I'm going to move on, though, because we have a shitload to get to.
Yep.
Spy Gadget says, I noticed you had a discussion about what constitutes a sandwich on the last episode, and that got me thinking about a discussion I had with my friend about RPGs. One of the stranger conclusions that came out of it was that that Metroid Prime was an RPG based on the criteria we defined. Considering many RPGs break conventions of what would typically be considered standard back in the day, such as turn-based battles and stat upgrades, I've noticed it's hard to define an RPG. For example, in a separate discussion with a friend, they claimed Mario platformers are RPGs because you play the role of Mario in a game. This brings me to my question. How do you characterize an RPG? And on a separate note, would you consider the Zelda games to be RPGs? I ask because this series seems to be the most contentious one. Thanks.
Okay, first off, people that call Mario an RPG are just dirt. Those are dirt people.
This is the thing, is that when people use the term RPG, RPG stands for role-playing game. However, that's not what, it's not to be taken literally. Like, when you say a roguelite or roguelike, it's not because that game is like rogue. It's because it's just
yes,
what has become... No, it's not. Are you kidding me? None of those games are like rogue except for that when you die, you have to start over.
Well, isn't that the classification?
No, it's not. People use it
like
because...
when you say something...
Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, I feel like when you say it's a roguelike, it means it's a game about replaying because you die often.
No. I mean, that's what it means now, for sure, but it's... This is the thing, is that with video games specifically, there's a whole bunch of terms that we just, like, learn to... We just know what that means, even though, like, if you just, like, break it down, that's not at all correct. Like, role-playing game... Every game is a role-playing game because you are playing a role in it, including VR games. Actually, especially VR games, I guess, because you are the role. So you can't look at it that way. Like, if you're talking to a person who doesn't game at all, and you're trying to describe stuff...
This one's hard. The answer to this question would have been different 10 years ago. But so many genres have, like, mixed together now. Like, everything, like 10 years ago, a role-playing game it's Final Fantasy. It's a game where you level up, you get experience points.
Well, this is the thing. 10 years ago, it was Final Fantasy. 20 years ago, it was Monkey Island, because you're playing a role. Like, you're playing a character. It changes, like, all the time. So, how do you characterize an RPG?
Mechanics are everywhere. Like, you know, Destiny, it's a shooter, but you level up, you get experience.
Okay. So
I feel like when someone if someone was to say, you know, give me a list of current RPGs, I'm thinking like
Mario Run, obviously.
not at all. I'm not thinking shooters. I'm thinking games where there's a specific like battle section, like you go into a battle. The leveling up is still there. The experience is still there. You know, there's like skill points and stuff like that.
Okay, so I agree with you. So this is what I'm going to say that we characterize an RPG as, for his answer, I guess, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that an RPG is a game where you assume the role of a specific character who you are able to directly choose how their progression exists. Like, you will get skill points, you can choose if they're going to be more stealthy, more, like, strength build or whatnot. Like, the role you're...
I feel like this is just every game. Like,
it's not, though. Like, Mario platformers you don't do that with. And...
Okay, well, apart from the obvious, it's not Rock Band, but like that's encompassing everything from like Destiny to Witcher to Devil May Cry to Dishonored.
The Devil May Cry, what are you talking about? Devil May Cry, you don't upgrade the character, you just upgrade his weaponry.
Don't you upgrade? He gets abilities, does he not?
I mean, he gets abilities, but it's just a story-based thing. You can't control that.
No, I'm pretty sure...
That's like a Metroidvania thing. You get abilities so you can continue in the game. Is a Metroidvania an RPG?
In the last Devil May Cry, you were upgrading his actual abilities so that he could like double jump or like dash and whatnot. That we're unlocking those based on...
I honestly didn't play it. That very well might be.
Okay, well, that one aside, like... Because a lot of those games, I wouldn't call them RPGs. Like, okay, I guess besides Final Fantasy 15, What is the most RPG game that has come out recently, in your opinion? Just off the top of your head.
Oh my god. I feel like I need a list of games. Like probably Dishonored 2 was pretty big on that.
See, like, why is that not like an action adventure game?
I mean, it is. It's an action adventure RPG.
That's the thing, is it's so. Anyways, this question, I don't think there's really like an answer. RPG, like, I think RPG has evolved. It is no longer like a core, genre. It is just something that is like inside of other games, like jumping.
Yeah, no, you're right. The reason being that, like, the reason it was called an RPG to begin with is because games like Dungeons and Dragons and all that, where you assume the role of a character, you are playing a tabletop role-playing game. That style came into video game form, and that's like what described like Baldur's Gate and like Neverwinter and that type of game for a long time. And then like there's mechanics in there that are good for other things, like upgrading your character, getting points that you can put into like stats and stuff like that. So every game adopts the old antiquated RPG stuff, and that's why we use the term RPG to describe the mechanics, like the things you can do in the game and not the game genre itself anymore. That's why it's weird and contentious.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've just been like, this is an RPG. A bunch of people in the chat are saying Pokemon. Yeah, that's a good answer. I guess if I was to say what is Pokemon, I would say it's an RPG. You're right. But I guess I can't think of a ton outside of that where I'd be like I action adventure is just such a huge genre now. I just lump so much into that.
Sure. Would you consider the Zelda games to be RPGs? No.
I always said action adventure.
Sure. I mean, I just don't use that term.
I guess specifically Zelda, like, he doesn't level up. And I feel like that's kind of core to RPGs, is you level up.
I mean, you're completely right. It is core to RPGs. You know what? Adding on to what I said, I'm going to say that it's not an RPG if you don't level up, period. Like, that's probably the core thing, right? Is that you have to level up.
Yeah, I can't think of any other game, any RPGs where I'd be like, this is an RPG and you don't level up in it.
Right. I'm like, Spy Gadget, if you're listening, write in again and like let us know what you guys came up with for your criteria.
Oh, he actually has that right below this if you scroll down.
Oh, okay. The criteria that caused Metroid Prime to be classified as an RPG were character progression through new abilities and world exploration. I mean, I don't think that's right. You don't level up in Metroid Prime. This is the thing. Yeah. Role-playing game, tabletop role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons, you have to level up. That is the core for it to be an RPG. I don't think there's any way around that.
And also, isn't the Metro games just kind of always Metroidvania games?
I mean, Metroid's right in the name of Metroidvania. Yeah. So, and yeah.
You could also argue that a lot of Metroidvania games are action-adventure games. You know, Devil May Cry is a good example of that, stuff like that. Anyway.
Just an add-on from the chat. Wiki the Fish is saying, could you consider heart containers level ups? I don't know. You could, but I don't.
I guess I don't really either. There was something recent that I was playing that did that. But it's not coming.
Oh, the Binding of Isaac. Yeah, I played that game.
I think the short of it is every game is an action adventure game, and video games are broken.
Yeah, video games kind of suck. Watch movies instead.
Play sports games. They figured it out. They stuck to the format and they never changed.
Yeah.
Cody says, what do you guys do with your Steam trading cards? Have you ever gone for badges for games that you really like?
Absolutely. Yeah.
No, never. When they first came out, I sold a couple of them for like $2, and that was it.
Yeah, the ones I don't care about, I sell for money to buy Steam trading cards that I'm missing for a badge for a game I like. That's what I do with them. I just keep it in a weird little ecosystem of trading card stuff. Okay. James asks or says, because John isn't on this episode, I'm going to ask a question about John. That's kind of weird. Given what John's job is, his employment is volatile. If one day YouTube and Twitch falls out and John is without a job, would either of you ask your boss if they could hire John so he could get back on his feet? No, we're terrible friends.
I mean, yeah, if John asked, but like that, it's super difficult coming down here, so I doubt that would happen. Also, if YouTube and Twitch failed, something else would just take its place.
It's true. Yeah.
John would start a fanzine, and he would handwrite all of his LPs and mail it out to all of the subscribers.
Yeah.
Snail mail.
He would form the Top John perspective and just make money off all the podcasting he would do. Then not include us. We would ask him.
Oh, right. I guess podcasting.
He could employ us.
He could do audio.
Yeah.
Audio Let's Plays.
But I mean, the answer is of course. Like, he's a friend. If I could do anything to help him out in like a time he needs it, I would absolutely do that. I mean, Nathan works with me because he hated his job and wanted to change, and we got him a job at my place. Like, of course, I would do it in a heartbeat for John. That being said, I would offer, but not do it right away because I don't think John would enjoy my job. So, Thomas writes. Oh, no, I wrote.
I got it.
Okay, yeah.
Thomas writes, first, with the amazing output of shooters this year, with Titanfall 2, Overwatch, Battlefield 1, etc., do you think it surpasses 27 as the year of the shooter, or is it just second place? What came out in 2007?
Oh my god, I'm looking it up right now because okay, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, BioShock, Unreal Tournament 3, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, you know the big ones.
Guitar Hero 3.
Oh wait, Halo 3, Enemy
Assassin's
Territories,
Creed, Portal, Rock Band, Super Mario Galaxy.
We're supposed to be looking at shooters.
Madden NFL 08.
John Woo's Stranglehold.
Oh, Elder Scrolls 4.
Oh, Time Shift. I forgot about Time Shift. Medal of Honor Airborne. You know what? 2007 had some shooters in it. Team Fortress 2, you know.
Kane and Lynch 1.
I like Kane and Lynch 1, whatever.
The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass.
Yeah.
Skate.
Oh, Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl. It was a pretty big...
Pro Street came out, though, and that game sucks.
It was a pretty big year, apparently, for shooters that year. So, so does it surpass 2007 as the year of the shooter?
I'm not going to say anything is the year of the shooter, but I think I like 2007 more.
I was going to say 2007 had more bigger shooters. So 2007 is still better.
Like, just the fact that it had, like, Portal and BioShock.
Team Fortress 2, like, is real big.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know if you guys know or have heard about this, but Team Fortress 2 is no joke.
Team Fortress 2, like, Overwatch will get there, and Overwatch has, like, bigger instant hype. Team Fortress 2 is still, like, huge. So,
all right. Getting onto a more of a serious note from Thomas. Next, and this is a hockey one.
Okay.
With the Columbus Blue Jackets just one shy of tying the 92-93 Pittsburgh Penguins 17-game win streak, I feel that it is a little bit cheated, as back when the when the Penguins did it, there was no shout out, and it ended in... I'm just reading what I see. And it ended in a tie that was followed by a few more wins. Right. Meanwhile, Columbus has 2 shoutout wins that would have ended their winning streak had they done this just over a decade earlier. Do you feel that the evolution of rules of a sport diminishes the weight of accomplishments?
Yeah.
Like the scoring frenzy of the 80s and early 90s? Or do you think they shouldn't be compared to those up to 100 years ago? Like how no one will probably ever match George Hainsworth's 0.98 GA season?
Yeah, season. That's how that word is said. Okay. First of all, as McJohnson is pointing out, the Blue Jackets lost tonight, which is hilarious that we're reading this tonight. But yeah, it's one of those things that he's totally right. There is really, like, accomplishments like they used to be don't exist anymore because of the leniency I think a lot of organizations have. This isn't just an NHL thing. This is also like this is basically like the NHL version of everybody gets a gold for trying sort of thing. Because, yeah, I don't think that, like, going to a shootout should count as a winning streak. That's bullshit. Because if you want, like, that's a tie. A tie isn't a win. That's all I'm saying. Even if you win in overtime, it's not a win to me.
Wait, hang on. Winning in overtime is a win?
Winning in overtime is a win, but I don't count that as a winning streak. Like, if you didn't do it in the time allotted, then fuck you.
I'm going to disagree with that.
No.
Hang on, wait. If you're saying,
yeah,
because I'm trying to translate the sports talk.
Yeah.
Let's say you have Team A has won twice.
Okay.
And they're playing Team
in regulation.
B. What?
In regulation.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay, you have 30 minutes to do a thing. If you don't do that thing better, you tied.
Okay, sure. Team A won twice. It was a blowout.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's their third game. They're playing Team B.
Yeah.
And they tied it up, and then they went to overtime.
Because they didn't win in regulation.
I disagree with that.
Because they tied.
Okay. I would disagree with that, but I mean, whatever.
No.
Okay, well, I hope we answered your question.
See, what Comet's saying, I like that. Like, yeah. 3 for a win. They need a 3-point system. 3 for a win, 2 for a shootout win, 1 for a shootout loss. Basically, if you tie, I don't count it as a win if the other team gets a point. Because, like, you should have shut them out completely. You should have made them lose, not let them tie.
You don't count it as a win if the other team scores?
I don't count it as a win if in regulation time they were able to keep up with you and you just barely won in overtime. Like, it's a win technically.
I disagree so much.
No, if you give the other team a point, you're doing it wrong. Like, that shouldn't count towards a streak. That's bullshit.
Okay. I completely disagree with this, but okay.
I mean, that's fine.
Thomas followed up. If Nintendo did something like the Year of Luigi this year, who should they pick?
That's an odd question. Like, maybe Waluigi?
I feel like that's the obvious one,
yeah.
But like, fuck that guy. How about, I would love a Year of Wario. Like, get a new WarioWare out there, a new Wario Land.
Yeah, I'm with that. Dude, a new Wario Land would actually be great. I like Wario Land games, so. Like,
it's been a while since we've had some Wario stuff. Do a couple Wario games. I'm trying to think of anyone else that's just not like immediate to. I could go for a Super Princess Peach 2 that her powers are not her emotions, because like, how did that actually come out?
I never played. Like, was that actually any good though? Like, ignoring that, like, weird feminist
really
thing.
Easy.
It was really, that sucks. I don't like that. Okay.
I mean, I don't think it's a weird feminist thing. That's pretty shitty.
I mean, it's a shitty thing, but like, I wanted to know like just how the actual game was, not about.
Yeah, it was pretty easy. And finally, in honor of Paul's #1 pick for 2016, what are some really great demos you've played?
Resident Evil 7 was pretty good.
Okay. Any other ones?
I'm trying to think of like demos that kind of did what that did, where it shows you a thing that's coming out without just taking a slice of that game and then like saying, tune in next time.
The Stanley Parable demo.
The Stanley Parable demo was fucking amazing for that too. You're right.
Anytime where it's like a separate piece of content, that's fantastic. So
when it shows you what the game's going to be, but not giving you the game, like a part of the game, I think is super good for a demo.
The Pokemon Sun and Moon demo did that.
That's cool.
This one kind of doesn't count, but I'm going to include it because it was the very first one.
Okay.
Dead Rising Case Zero.
I really like Case Zero. It's probably my favorite.
Cool.
It's my favorite Dead Rising. So
I don't think it technically counts. Like any of those other ones would not count because like standalone pieces are a thing now, but that was the very first one. It came out in order to hype up Dead Rising 2, so it almost seemed like a demo. So I'm going to count that for this answer. Okay. One thing I want to say counter to what you were saying, though, is I remember Bastion came out, and it was just the beginning of the game up to a certain point,
Okay.
Which I know you're saying you don't like. But the cool thing Bastion did is if you purchased the game after finishing the demo, you continued right from that spot, and you didn't have to like play it again.
I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying I like the other way better.
Sure.
But yeah,
I mean, it's
no, that
more
is
content,
really cool.
so sure. But yeah.
I really liked when they used to pack demos into like a game, like specifically like there was a demo for Metal Gear Solid in like an EGM magazine.
Okay.
There
I thought you were gonna go more like the Halo 3 demo in Crackdown.
That too. Like I really like that sort of stuff.
The Metal Gear Solid demo in Zone of the Enders.
Yeah, like when there's a demo for another product in like a game you already were gonna play and bought or whatever. I always thought that was kind of cool. I like that.
That was cool, yeah. I mean, and Crackdown just ended up being awesome. So
Crackdown is really good.
Like Crackdown.
Yeah, it's really good. Okay. Oh, this is like the Thomas Dedinsky or Dedinsky like hour here. Okay, so that was his email. He wrote into Discord as well saying, "Are you guys using the new My Nintendo as much as you used Club Nintendo? How is it anyways?" I'm not using it like at all. How about you?
I keep logging in and connecting it to stuff, but it doesn't seem to be getting me anything.
Okay.
So maybe the Switch will do something with it.
Yeah.
Here's my complaint. I still needed a friend code for Super Mario Run.
That is actually the wrong way to do that. Completely.
So there you go.
They don't learn. This is the problem I have with Nintendo, is they don't learn.
Nope. But neither do we. We keep buying all their consoles.
I mean, I'm looking forward to the Switch though. Like,
yeah. So legit, like, how you can't even complain.
I don't. I mean, yeah, you're right. I can't, but I will. So whatever.
Do you want me to take this next one, or do you want to do them all because the same person?
Yeah, let's just do them all. Have you ever been addicted to a normal sports video game? Examples: No Jam or Blitz. And if so, what made it stand out?
No.
Like addicted? No. I thought it was cool when, I think it was the NHL series, not the 2K series, but like the just numbered series, NHL like 13 and 14.
The EA series.
Yeah, the EA series. I think it was them that added the like stick handling with the separate stick, like with the right analog stick. And like before they didn't, like when they first added that, I thought that was like really cool. And me and a friend played that game that they did that for the first time, like a lot. But I wouldn't say I was like addicted or anything. They're fun with friends. I just don't really like them single player.
I was gonna say the closest thing is Rocket League, but that specifically doesn't count for this question.
Yeah. And his last question is, because I'm not filling up this feed enough, what is that one stall management game with plot that Nathan used to really like playing? I would go look at the old Game of the Year podcast, but I honestly forget which year that game was released / its ranking. Stall management? I have no idea
what he's talking about.
I know that the game Nathan was super into for a while that was like a weird little work game, was Work Time Fun.
I know that doesn't sound like this because it's not a management game. I was thinking maybe Tiny Tower, but I really have no idea. Yeah. So if anyone wants to write in with the answer, or if anyone in the chat's going to do it before we sign off.
Yeah. All right. You can go to Discord actually, and actually anybody who's listening to that isn't part of Discord, you can go to our Discord and you can just like message Nathan.
Join the conversation.
Yeah. Use hashtag what was Nathan's game of the year in 2011 or whatever the fuck it was. He's on Discord though. And he's in the Top Down Perspective Discord, not right now, but you can @ him and then like ask him directly, and I'm sure when he's able to, he'll answer you. But yeah.
Okay. People want to send in questions for next week. topdownperspective@gmail.com, @TDP Podcast, on Twitter, the Facebook group, in the Discord, John's P.O. Box, Reddit, wherever you want. What's your game of the week?
I have to give it to Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. It's real good. And
I can easily give it to Mini Metro.
Nice. Poor poor Hidden My Game by Mom too.
Yeah, well, I mean that game's fine too, but I got super into Mini Metro.
Yep.
All right, we'll see everyone next week. Hopefully John will be back. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.